Welcome to Born on the Bayou Sports, a Houston sports show made for Houstonians by Houstonians. Join Tim Costello and Scott Barzilla every week as they break down the latest in Houston Astros, Rockets, and Texans news. Tim's a former minor league broadcaster, and Scott has written 2 books on the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah, if Javier could get it figured out, it would make things a lot easier because he was that guy everybody was counting on this year to be a Cy Young candidate, take that big step forward and help anchor this rotation with Fromber.
Since he's come to Houston, you can look at the development of guys like Carlos Correa defensively, Jeremy Pena defensively. I mean, you can Alex Bregman's, certainly I think a better than average third baseman.
And now you're putting teams in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. Now here comes Will Anderson. Pin back your ears, let's go. So if you're Bayou born and bred, or just like spending time in the H, sit down, relax, and stay Houston strong. Well, welcome all my friends to the show that brings a little bit more energy on a weekend out basis than the Houston Astros offense does. Scott, how are you doing this week?
Well, certainly doing better than the Astros. I don't get it, Tim. We're both sitting there watching it. I think probably have one eye on the podcast, one eye on the game, and we're sitting here watching. Who's this guy? Dollander, 7 ERA. Lock down the offense. I'm trying to get it.
It makes absolutely zero sense to me as well, and we can get into that a little bit later, but let's say this was a starting question. This one is inspired by a conversation Scott and I are having just a few moments ago, as he mentioned one of the books that his students are reading in school. So that brings us to today's starting question. Scott, what was your least favorite book that you had to read in school?
I think probably this came later on, but I'm going to have to echo what my wife said. Death of the Salesman is not exactly a book. It's a play. But she said she asked her English teacher, when does he die? And I have to kind of echo that sentiment. We actually saw it at the Alley Theater as well. And it's, every bit as bad live as it is on paper.
I've never seen it. I like musicals more than just, straight up talking plays. I need a little song and dance, moves it all along pretty quickly. I have a 2-way tie. Both came from the sophomore summer reading list for AP English. One I just saw, as you did, Scott, in live on theater, and I got the elbow to the ribs numerous times for my wife to wake up. That's Life of Pi. And tied with that was Cold Mountain. Even Nicole Kidman, topless, couldn't make that any better.
Oh, and was it young Nicole Kidman? I can't remember.
I mean, it was a new-ish movie when I was a sophomore in high school within like the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't know. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I did not enjoy that book whatsoever. I also failed the shit out of that test. But, it was rough.
I didn't enjoy Huckleberry Finn either. That one was not a good one.
That was okay. I didn't have a problem with that one. That one was that was fun. But, yeah, those 2 were the ones for me. Life of Pi was just – I don't like heavy-handed metaphors. I really don't enjoy that. And the whole thing is just shoving it right down your throat the whole time. And then
yeah, we're in the middle of Ayn Rand, which, from my understanding, my English specialist and I are pretty close. Work friends, and she just said, "Hey, they were free." That's about basically what it amounted to, and it's 86 pages, and so it's obviously shorter, so the students can digest it. We're 37 pages in, and it's tedious. It is absolutely tedious.
Yeah, I'm not a big capitalism guy like Ayn Rand is, so not going to be who I look to read. When I do read in my free time, I've actually been drawn to some of Martin Luther King's writings. They're interesting. They're tough reads, but you learn a lot more about the guy because he's pretty well-rounded and not exactly just the pacifist people thought. But let's move on. Speaking of pacifist, it's that Houston Astros offense. Scott, I specifically remember watching the games over the weekend. All the broadcasters saying, this is it. The Astros have a turning point. The offense, it seems like everything's changed now. Here we go. And then you get blown the fuck out last night by the fucking Colorado Rockies, and you make Hunter Brown just doesn't get the love he deserves from that start. Then tonight, you got one run, as you said, Scott, against a guy, Dollander, pardon me, who's got a 7 ERA. Like, yeah, he's got good stuff, and this is not just a 2025 Astros problem. This isn't even just a this window Astros problem. As long as I have been an Astros fan, I feel like they have had the ability to make guys who suck look like Cy Young candidates.
Yeah, I think the difference between this club and years past within this window, right, this championship window, is I distinctly remember games where a starting pitcher would lock this team down for 5, 6, even 7 innings. And this team would find a way to pour it on late and score like 6, 7, 8 runs. And you're like, how the hell did they do that? They had like 1 after 6 innings. This team this year is not doing that. If they're not scoring early, they're not scoring at all. And I think, with the Orioles series, I think what we saw is, yeah, this team can get hot for stretches and with runners in scoring position. Things can go well. They just can't seem to sustain it because it's still reliant on a lot of 4 and 5 hit innings.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. There's a little bit more long ball in the Baltimore series, but all you really saw was maybe 2 or 3 more clutch hits. That's it, right? The Astros have been putting runners on base. The Astros have abandoned more people on base than Christopher Columbus did when he left half his crew and fucking sailed back to Spain. Okay. We put the runners on. We just don't bring them home. So really all you saw in Baltimore was a couple, 1 or 2 big knocks here or there that actually brought some of those runners home.
Yeah. And I really like the fact that Jesus Sanchez made a resurgence. That was really good to see him make a comeback, especially that little 5 for 5 there on the first day of the series. I mean, that was nice to see. He's got 2 knocks tonight. I don't, I think if you look at him overall, that ends up putting him about near his season average. So I don't think he's doing anything spectacular. He just is who he is. Ramon Urias is who he is. Carlos Correa has been better than who he has been over the course of the season. So it's been the guys that have been here that have not consistently produced.
Altuve's been in a bit of a funk, I feel like, for a couple of weeks now. Cam Smith has been god-awful since the All-Star break, as you pointed out to me. Jacob Melton is probably at this point the worst center fielder that's getting consistent time in baseball. And now Caratini's hurt. Correa's been great. Walker's been better. Walker's actually been pretty solid, but
not in this series, obviously. But and here's my question. And we've asked this question before, but it bears asking again. Does Chaz microwave fish in the break room? Is that his sin? Because I'm trying to figure out why he's not the regular center fielder while Jake Myers is out. Now, if you want to sit there and tell me that, hey, Jake Myers has won that position based on his play over the last, I would say, calendar year, I'd say, yeah, I'd go with that. But with Jake Myers out, I don't see any reason why Chaz shouldn't be playing center field 5 days a week.
I'm with you. He's a better offensive option than Melton is. His defense is fine. Like, his defense preserved a no-hitter in a World Series. It's the same fucking argument we had with Dusty Baker at the helm about why isn't Chaz getting consistent playing time. So obviously, like as Dusty was leaving, he passed the spot on a note. It was just like, don't play Chaz. Trust me,
Well,
you can't play him. This is what's best for him. He needs to only play 2 days a week, so he really, really wants it.
and what I would say to any and all of that is that Chaz McCormick is not a good baseball player right now. He's not. I mean, his OPS is probably about 600. However,
but he's trending in the right direction.
600 is better than 450.
And again, he's trending in the right direction.
I don't care if he's stuck at 600. 600 is better than 450. You put the best player on the field. Now, if you want to sit there and talk about the fact that, oh shit, if Jake Myers isn't it, we need to find a better center fielder, somebody who's capable of playing the position, who can back this guy up. Yeah, but that's an off-season thing. I mean, and I think there's obviously some very large conversations that need to be had about this offense in general in the offseason. But that's an off-season conversation.
No, I totally agree with you. And it's frustrating because you want to put your best on the field. Maybe there's a reason you feel defensively or whatever it is. But tonight's a perfect example. Why do you not just use Arias at second base and Dubon in center field? If you don't like Chaz, okay, that's fine. You like Dubon, you play him every day. You like Urias, you play him every day. Those two should be in the lineup. Put Chaz in fucking center field and Urias plays second base. Boom, we're done. Thank you. Like it doesn't make any sense of why we're seeing Jacob Melton. And I'll get into that more later, but it's we were excited for some reason, not you and I, but as a fan base and as the broadcast was celebrating Jacob Melton coming off the IL. Here we go. Help's on the way. Like the fuck? Trammell was better than this. So
not only that, but you got Framber Valdez on the hill. You could stick one of us in center field. I mean, and not really suffer all that much defensively. I mean, obviously, I'm exaggerating, make a point. I don't think Tim or I should be roaming center field at Dyken Park.
I could play center field.
But I'm just saying, if your excuse for playing Melton is, oh, we need a good defender, what the hell? You've got a extreme ground ball pitcher on the hill.
And again, this is a guy who missed more than a month turning to watch a fucking home run fly over his head.
Yeah.
That's this guy. Real fucking show of athleticism.
Yeah.
I mean, walked, stole a base tonight. It doesn't matter because we hit it a double play. But I know I'm hard on some of these guys, but I feel like Zach Short found a way to contribute, played integral parts in some wins. Trammell's found ways to contribute, hit some big home runs. Even the guy who I hate to admit it, Cooper Hummel.
I was going to say, it makes you long for the days of Cooper Hummel.
Sadly, yeah.
Those were the salad days.
That's the barrier, right? There's no longer a Mendoza line. It's the Cooper Hummel line. Are you better than Cooper Hummel? And right now, the answer for
Jacob Melton is no.
No, you're not. And this is when, we should have traded his ass when we had the chance before he fucking got shown. People thought he was a good prospect. We should have gotten the fuck out of here. Yeah,
well, and he still might be. Who knows? It's just not here.
I know. I see what I'm watching it. I can tell this guy's as is not going to be a Major League Baseball player for long.
No. He could. Because you remember when Alex Bregman came up in 2016. I mean, that was brutal for about the first month or so of the season. Mike Schmidt, when he came up, he was hitting like 150. So.
But it's not like with Bregman, it was. It was how you were hitting 150, right?
Yeah,
Do you look completely overmatched every time you're up there? Or are you making contact and it's just not going your way and it's one of those crazy stretch? Like Bregman's was like an 0 for 40. It was a crazy stretch, right? This is way worse. This is every time you're up there, you're completely overmatched. You'd be better off just drag bunting. You would literally be better off or slap hitting like a softball player and hoping you just beat out an infield single. That would be better.
So I think, we're through into the seventh inning. I can kind of see. I don't know. And what kills me is we still have a 1.5 game lead. Well, no, actually, technically a 1 game lead. If we win, it'll be a 1.5 games. I don't see how the Mariners are not in first place. I don't get
Right?
it.
Right?
You got Suarez with 43 bombs. You've got Kyle Raleigh, who set the fucking major league record for home runs for a catcher, and he's still got a month to go. I mean, that guy's your
He's
AL.
already, I was looking at it today because I was doing Immaculate Grid. He's already got 5.9 WAR with a whole month left to go of the season, right? Like he's already basically a 6 WAR player this year if the season stopped today.
You got Randy Rosarina, who's got like 25 bombs. Julio Rodriguez has got over 20 bombs. You've got Polanco's got 20 bombs. You've got that pitching staff. How is that team not in first place?
Bullpen's terrible.
Yeah, bullpen's terrible. The starting rotation's good. I don't get it.
The starting rotation's not good away from home, though. They had the same problem last year. They pitch really well at Safeco, and they do not pitch well on the road.
And then now beating the Padres 2 out of 3, they're just kind of a weird team. But, I was coming into this Rocky series thinking, hey, sweep. Then you got the Angels. Come on, let's go. After,
right.
almost pulling off, could have almost pulled off a sweep in Baltimore. You're thinking, okay, I could see, because, you pulled off that sweep in Baltimore, a 4-3 road trip, particularly with the Tigers as one of those teams. That's not a bad road trip. And then it's 3-4, which is still not god awful. I just don't get why this team, it did the same thing against the White Sox this year. I mean, what the hell?
We played down to our competition. When the Astros played for the most part, the Tigers were the exception. But when they've played first place team this year, they've played their best baseball. And then they like, okay, we only got the Rockies. Okay, guys. And here we go again. It's just unbelievably frustrating. And then you've got, again, Caratini's now in concussion protocol on the IL. Yiner's apparently banged up and needs a little time. And here's Cesar Salazar trying to catch Framber Valdez. And we talked about it last show where, there's a theory that it's almost like catching a knuckleballer when you try to catch Framber because of how much movement he gets. So this is a guy, Cesar Salazar, by the way, is hitting 228 in AAA. In triple fucking A, 228. And now he's up here trying to get major league at bats. Like,
you got to walk.
It's insane.
He got to walk.
And yeah, I mean, he got a walk. But it's just too much of our lineup that's automatic outs that are non-competitive at bats. I don't consider anything that Jacob Melton does a competitive at bat. I'm sorry. Like, he's not. Did he get a walk today? Yes. Like, a blind squirrel finds a nut. But the law of averages says this guy is not even fucking worth the horse he rode in on.
Yeah, you're going to get to. I know we have a planned segment at the end of the show that I'll get more into exactly what I think needs to happen there.
All right, Scott. The Houston Texans have released their 53-man roster. What are your initial thoughts as you get your body and mind and soul prepared for the 2025 NFL season?
Actually not bad. I know, I don't know if you saw this. They dropped the practice squad as well.
I did.
So I wrote an article that's going to land tomorrow, kind of blistering Nick Caserio for the John Mechie trade because I ended up getting the details wrong on it. We got it backwards. So we traded them a 5th. They traded us a 6th. And we gave up John Mechie, who's on their 53-man. Harrison Bryant is on the practice squad, so I guess he could be elevated. So 2 tight ends kind of surprised me on the final roster. I mean, that's kind of weird. 7 wide receivers, that seems like a lot. I noticed that they're trying to trade Cam Robinson, and so they have an extra lineman, and so maybe that's the move.
I think that's why Bryant is. I think that's why he's on the practice squad.
Maybe they trade Cam Robinson, keep 8 linemen, elevate Bryant to the regular roster, and that's the move. I don't know, but I've got more on
Yeah,
this.
that was a little intriguing.
Well, what's intriguing to
That was
me? What's intriguing to me is there has apparently been a huge blow up, and I'll get to more on this later, with Joe Mixon. So Nick Caserio was asked today if Mixon was going to be out for the season, and he was non-committal.
What?
He's out for at least 4 weeks, right? Because he's on that that list. He was non-committal. Right? He was non-committal about him coming back and playing. He's basically saying, with all those guys, in 4 weeks we'll check in and we'll see. But if that were going to be the case, and I know you don't want to tip your hand, but would you have gotten in on the Brian Robinson action?
Probably, unless you're really happy with what you see from Nick Chubb.
Because I think he ended up going to San Francisco for a 6th.
Yeah, it wasn't much at all.
So I would have traded a 5th if we're only to trade a 5th to dump John Mechie. Shit, I think Chubb will be okay. I think what I don't know is I think Woody Marks is going to be good as a rookie. He's going to be good in situations. I don't know if he's an in between the tackles guy, but maybe as a scat back.
Kept Bucky Brooks for that.
And you got Dameon Pierce still lingering.
I don't know how.
Jawar Jordan looked good in camp. He looked good in all the preseason games. He is on the practice squad, but I don't know what that guy has to do. All right, so just to update everybody, Fromber's made it through 7, so he officially gets to punch somebody in the throat because I think that's his last pitch.
Well, at least they give him the lead.
Yeah.
But still, 1 run against the fucking Colorado Rockies, who are a historically bad baseball team. Not what you're looking for as a home fan. Could you imagine you paid for a ticket to this fucking game?
I want to know,
sitting in the Crawford boxes, hoping to catch a homer because you're playing the Rockies.
But I'm trying to figure out, Tim, switching back to the Texans. Did you see how few defenders we have on the final roster? It's like
that was weird. I saw that they had Petre listed as a corner.
Yeah, I don't care what you list him as. We know he's not going to be that. But my question is, and this is what I was expecting. What I was expecting actually is for them to pick up a corner between now and the opening game on waivers. Because to me, if one of those 2 outside corners goes down, I don't know what you're doing.
I agree. The corners seemed a little light. I feel like they're still kind of waiting as well to truly finalize that 53-man roster. It seems to me like there's a couple small little tweaks that could be made. Corners, one that you mentioned, I feel like safety was pretty thin with Jimmy Ward going onto the commissioner's list, and CJ Gardner-Johnson's health is a little questionable. You cut Jalen Mills right after you brought him in. I feel like there maybe is another move coming at safety, or maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe so. It also depends on, how CJ Gardner-Johnson, how healthy is he? When is he going to be back? That's a question as well. Is he going to be back week 1, or is he like a week 2? I know he wasn't put on any list. He's on the final roster. So how healthy is he?
I don't. That's what's frustrating right now is like we've just dealt with a whole season of Houston Astros training room bullshit, right? There's no other way to put what this medical team does other than horseshit, bullshit, dog shit, and some kind of shit from an animal. That is basically the quality of medical care that's going on in the Houston Astros training room. And now here we go into the football season thinking a breath of fresh air. We'll get some, you have to list guys properly, right? It's a penalty from the league if you don't do your injury reports right. And yet here we are. We're not even a game into the season. We're questioning the health of CJ Gardner-Johnson. We're wondering if Mixon is going to be healthy or not. Like this is not what I'm looking for.
Cam Smith with a dinger.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
So yeah, because I'm watching on the @bat app. I'm not watching on
I'm on the iPad too. It's just America streams at different rates apparently.
Yeah, well, go figure. But
oh, that's crushed. That's fucking crushed, bro.
Hopefully that unlocks them, a little bit. But so I was going to get more into the whole injury thing later, but I think my problem in general with the Astros is I don't have a problem with how forthcoming they are. Dana Brown's very forthcoming. The problem is they're just wrong. And to me, it's
They're not how are they forthcoming? He will literally say he's got a sore shoulder, he's get a little, get a little rest here. Next thing you know, he's out for the season.
He'll give his date, but he'll give us a date when he expects him back. He'll just be wrong. And so, to me, even if you were to sit there and say like, well, he's got a sore shoulder, we're going to look into it, we'll see, that would, you could actually back away from that. My problem is just don't be wrong. However forthcoming you want to be, just don't be wrong. Get it right. I mean, we probably could have had Jordan a month ago, at the very least, if they had gotten it right.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh, you mean if they got it right the first time?
Yeah. Just make sure you get it right.
Yeah, I mean, an X-ray probably be a good start. And so hey, you got an ice pack? Hey, you know what? You don't even buy it. Do you have a bag of frozen peas at home, Jordan? Just go ahead and put that on there. Get 2 bags, alternate them back and forth. And we'll come back again in a week.
I feel like the comedian who talked about his mother said, like, gunshot wound? Get some icy hot. That'll solve that problem real quick.
I mean, that's literally like, I feel like he's getting the same level of medical care that I got after my vasectomy, where the guy said, alternate bags of peas every hour. Like literally, like just switch the peas out. That was a medical doctor, so maybe that's who the Astros hired. My urologist.
You have a doctor watching a Shaq commercial with the icy hot. Man, that guy's onto something. Here you go, Jordan. Here's some icy hot. Oh my.
But no, back to the Texans. Like I was hoping that we have this because it's forthcoming and whatever.
They don't have to say anything until the season. They don't have to say anything until the season. So I mean, I get it, but I'm going to get more on this. I'm going to say a whole lot more on this later. So I'll cede for the moment.
Making that extension look pretty dumb, though. I will say that. All right, let's start giving some awards away because we got a lot to talk about in award season, Scott. Let's do the pow right in the kisser.
Okay.
Who do you have for us this week?
Speaking of the conversation we were just having, Tim, I'm going to go with one D'Amico Ryans. I love D'Amico Ryans as a coach. I loved him as a player. I love him as a guy, but he basically scolded the press today when they were asking questions about Joe Mixon. And so, I'm not saying this is a Houston Texans thing because Nick Caserio actually gave a pretty, even-handed defense of the way that they do things. So basically saying that we're not going to tell you anything. But he says, I acknowledge that you have a job to do and that you're going to ask questions. So, D'Amico, listen to your GM. Okay, you can tell us what's going on with a guy. You cannot tell us what's going on with a guy. But if you don't tell us what's going on with a guy, then basically the press is going to keep asking until you tell them what's going on with the guy. And if you don't tell them anything, then we're going to start seeing things where people start speculating that maybe he is. I saw this on Pro Football Trade Rumors, Tim. There is now an open question about whether Joe Mixon's out for the season. And now, is that pure idle speculation? Probably. Is it based on any fact? Maybe not. But you don't give us any facts, so we got to go on with what we have to go with. Now, think about this: if you came home, and and Haley sat there and said, "Hey, did you sleep with that woman at work?" You go like, "I'm not talking about that. We're talking about something else." Do you think that's going to satisfy her? Do you think she's going to go, "Okay, I guess I'll drop it"?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't talk about work at home. We're not going to talk about what happens in the office. Don't ask me about my business, Kate.
And so, I mean,
this one time you can ask me.
That's where D'Amico Ryans is, basically. And he's sitting there scolding the local Houston guys when it's a national reporter reporting that he's out for the season, or maybe out for the season. But see, when you give us no information, and I consider myself, I am somewhat quasi-paid. I'm paid, a nominal sum of money to write about the Houston Texans. So I'll consider myself professional media, and you can put all the air quotes around that you want. But I can only go with the information that I have available to me. And so if the beat guys aren't going to get it and you're not going to give it to them, just understand that they're going to keep asking. And if you don't want to give it to them, that's your right. You don't have to give them any information. But acting all pissed off that they keep asking, that's just, no, that's weak.
I agree with you. You've got to, but also here's what's frustrating. The most frustrating part about everything that you said is the local sports media offers more pushback than the White House press room. I'm just gonna float that out there, that you can't just say things like that with the sports, with an athlete, right? There will be follow-up questions, and sports journalists pride themselves on getting that information. But in the political world, you can say whatever the fuck you want, and there will be no fucking follow-up questions whatsoever.
It's all about magnets, Tim.
Awesome.
It's all about magnets. It's about the magnets, Tim. China's in on the magnets.
I guess so. I'd like to. Do you remember Step Brothers? Where he's like talking about, I'm a windmill ya, and he's just like, no, I'm sorry, Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby, where he's talking about like fighting multiple people. He's like, I'm gonna windmill ya, and he's spinning. I'd like to windmill the Texas House Republicans who have passed another version of the bounty hunter bill, so that you can fucking tattle on your neighbors for $10,000 a pop. House Bill 7, if they get an abortion. Like, what are we doing? This is get out of my fucking house, right? Like, get out. Like, you have no business in my personal life. I cannot stress enough how disgusting these people are, how obsessed they are with controlling aspects of other people's life. And I literally would love to sit in my chair and just spin in a circle and just have someone just be replaced by the next one, so I can just continually spin and punch them all in a continuous circle. It's fucking insane. It is insane. And sadly, they're not even at the scumbag level, because war's at that level. But here we are with another version of a bill you already did, where you can go fucking tattle on your neighbors for $10,000 a pop. $10,000 a pop. What are we doing, Scott?
Well, what I love is this is the party that claims that they're for individual freedom. This is the party that claims that they're for local control. This is the party that, we're like, oh my God, Biden's going to declare martial law. Oh, Trump actually declared martial law. Oh, I guess that's fine.
Do you remember the freak out over Jade Helm?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we were actually in the Hill Country because my parents had a lake house in Marble Falls. So we actually were at Buc-ee's and saw some people in uniform coming into Buc-ee's.
So everything that they said was going to happen in Jade Helm that Obama was doing is literally what fucking Trump is doing right now. So, like, taking control of National Guards and shit. But that's a whole other story. That's a whole horse of a different color, Scott. Let's give out some more awards. The horse's ass. Who do you have for us this week, Scott, as the horse's ass
I'm going to go with the Apple Store, Tim, and I'm going to tell you a little tale. Now, I will say, I will give them some kudos. They admitted they do not work on commission, so they said, "Hey, get your iPad anywhere you want." And so I went on Amazon, ordered me an iPad, and so I got it coming in cheaper than what I would have, going to the store. So I got that coming in tomorrow. But my dog broke my iPad. Now, in the interest of doing something that's not Republican these days, and we'll take some personal responsibility, I left it on the couch. The dog jumped up to chase one of our cats, flew the iPad about 5 feet in the air, crashed, broke the screen. So I said, I'm going to take this to the Apple Store. Let's see if they can fix it. Let's see if I can get out of here without having to pay the full freight for a new iPad. So what happens when you go into the Apple Store, Tim? Have you been in the Apple Store?
Yeah, they tell you, did you make an appointment online? You say no, then they laugh at you and say it's going to be about 17 hours.
Well, in this case, I took the day off on Friday. So I got off light, Tim. I was on there for about an hour and 15 minutes. So
it's not terrible.
Walked around the mall, right? And, I came back and I just kind of, my iPad still functions. So I just kind of, petered around the store. And so my time slot comes and my time slot goes. And so I go up there and I'm like, hey, I had a time slot, what's going on? They say, oh, you're next. Okay. So 15 minutes later, I come up to them. I'm like, do I need to set up like a new time or something? And they said, no, you're next. So I go back, sit down, and the guy comes out, looks at the iPad for 5 seconds and says, no, we can't do this repair. What we can do is we can replace this model for this price, or for me, ended up being like $50 more. You could get the newer model. So I will give that guy credit for saying, hey, I'm not on commission. But why did I have to wait around for an hour and a half for somebody to look at it and go, we can't do anything? I mean, here's the thing, Tim, I love about the Apple Store is you can see people, the Apple geniuses, I have to put air quotes, walking around the store doing nothing. It's like, could one of you just do me a solid, come over here, look at this thing, and go,
I don't think those are the geniuses, though. Those are the salespeople. To be a genius, you got to be able to actually fix shit. Those are the whole other level.
But they don't wear anything to differentiate who's a genius and who's a salesperson. They're all wearing like that Apple blue shirt. Like you should have like a Star Trek thing where like you just have a Star Trek thing where you have the red shirts, the ones that die, and then everybody else, is wearing a different shirt. You should have like a gold shirted guy. I'm the fix it guy. The red shirts, they're just the crash test dummies. They're the salespeople.
I think you should feel it. Like I'm in the presence of greatness right now. I'm in the presence of a genius. I can't let me bow down to your supreme Apple knowledge. But I agree with you. Like the guy who checks you in at the beginning should just do like a quick glance of Rooney Dooney at your device and be like, yo, man, you're about to waste 2 hours.
He did. He still put me down. Now, my favorite is the time I had to go in where all I wanted to do was buy. I can't remember what I was buying. But I wanted to buy an Apple product. You need to set up an appointment. I need to set up a fucking appointment to buy something? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I remember. It happened to me too. That was during COVID. During COVID, I not even the height of it. Like I think it was like 2021, and they were like, "Oh, you have to have an appointment to come into the store and buy something, or you can stand right here and scan this QR code and order it on your phone, and then we'll bring it out to you." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But yet But you know what's worse, Scott? You bought the new iPad. I bought the fucking Apple Watch. Like. I still bought the device that day. You still bought the device that day. We hate the experience, yet we still buy the product.
Yeah, because the thing is everything's synced. I mean, I have an iPhone. I've got all those other things. Got an Apple computer, so these things all get synced up. So yeah, it's just it's a pain in the ass.
I did give up on the AirPods. I'm done. I will never buy another pair of AirPods. Those are the biggest waste of money. They literally make them to die after like a year and a half. All right, my horse's ass this week. I am going to stick more to the initial thought of the war. It's going to be a sports-based one. I am horse's assing the combination. Ooh, that was fucking charged to center field. Welcome back, your Dawn. I am going to go after Jacob Melton and Joe Espada for playing him. You mentioned in the show Chaz is a better option. I mentioned that Dubon is a better option. I think picking a random fucking Little League kid before every game and sticking him out there is a better option because then at least it's cute. But what's happening right now is disgusting. The guy's hitting below 160. His OPS was 416 coming into this game. He walked, so maybe it went up a touch. I don't know. But this is not Major League Baseball. This is not the center field play that you would expect from a team that's hoping to contend for a World Series title. Your first place in your division. Dubon was Justin Verlander's preferred center fielder at one point. Like that was literally a thing that we had where we had to have Dubon play center field when Verlander was here. Why can't he not go back and play center every day? If you don't think Chaz is the guy, okay, I'm fine with that. You have Dubon. And you traded for Urias so you could use Dubon differently while these guys were hurt. Fucking use him. I want to, like, you're both horses' asses. Like, Jacob Melton should walk into the office and lay his jersey down fucking Rudy style and say, you should be playing Mauricio Dubon in my place as center field coach. I think Mauricio should play. And then everybody in the locker room should also come in Rudy style and say, play Mauricio for me, coach. Play Mauricio for me, coach. And then maybe a spotter will get the fucking message.
Well, and what I don't get is imagine a world where you're like, I want Dubon in the lineup in the outfield. I mean, imagine that world.
I'm living in that fucking world right now.
And what kills and taking Jordan out of this lineup, I mean, out of this situation, because just to report some news, he did go deep in this game. So, hopefully Jordan is back. But there is nobody in this lineup where you're absolutely like, oh my God, this guy's, MVP level hitter. I mean, I think Correa's been excellent since he came back, but let's be real. Correa is probably an 800 OPS guy. Altuve is about an 800 OPS guy. Walker on his best day is maybe an 800 OPS guy. Everybody else in this lineup's like 700. And in that world where you don't have the 1,000 OPS guy like they have in Seattle, you can't afford to have a 400 OPS guy just dangling in your lineup. It just doesn't make any it doesn't make any sense.
And Correa doesn't have the pop that he wants. Maybe as he beefs up a little bit, becomes more of a full-time third baseman in the offseason, he'll add some pop. But he's never been a 25, 30 home run guy. He's a 15, 20 guy. He hits line drives, and sometimes they get out. Altuve is, on the downside of a career. Like, we can say that. It's not a bad thing. He's still productive, but he's not the MVP level Jose Altuve anymore. And he's kind of a man without a country because you don't know where to play him necessarily. Christian Walker he's fine. I think if he ends up at a 750 OPS, it's okay. It's maybe a little under what you expected based on the salary, but based on his age and his history of production, like I don't think he's that much below what we thought we were going to get. I think when you just see the Astros sign a free agent to a $25, $30 million deal, you expect a lot. But at the end of the day, Christian Walker, you take the first month out of the season, you pretty much get what you expected to get out of him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and if you expected more, then you didn't understand the player you signed.
He leads the team in RBIs. So, I mean, if he has a month like he has the last month, he'll hit to 90 RBIs. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
And
plays a good defense. I think he's made Pena a better first baseman again. You look at the last 2 years after Pena wins a Gold Glove his rookie year with Yuli over there playing first base, then with Abreu and Singleton and fucking Yiner and everybody else. Like, Pena's making errors left and right, and then all of a sudden Pena's back to playing a high level of shortstop again this year. The difference is Gold Glove quality first base play.
Yeah, and then, you've got Cam Smith, who's hopefully coming out of his slump tonight. You've got, Jesus Sanchez is another 700-ish OPS guy, which is not bad. It's major league average, but you just can't afford to have holes in your lineup when that's what you're, the kind of lineup you're running out there every night.
Yep, I agree with you. And I think if Melton was a true pros pro, he'd walk into the office and say, Coach, I'm hurting the team. Please stop playing me. Like Altuve went to a spot and said, stop leading me off. I'm hurting the team. Would it be crazy for Melton to say, Coach, I'm not the guy. I am hurting this team. You got to stop running me out there. I'm happy to be a leading defensive guy. I'll pinch run. But, Coach, I'm hitting 150. You got to stop running me out there.
Yeah.
It'll never happen, but I wish it would. All right, Scott, that brings us to the old tip of the cap. A little positivity in the world, looking at the best things that happened throughout the week. Who do you have for us as your hat tip of the week?
I'm going to have to peel behind the curtain here. Tim and I had a good laugh at the Astros social media page that took out a Facebook ad thanking Sean Dubin for all of his contributions to the team, wishing him the best of luck. And is it Logan Von Way? Is that the name? Is it Fred Von Way? I can't even remember his first name.
I don't know.
But I am positive that there's got to be some kind of a level where there's got to be a cutoff where you don't do that. But I am glad that the Astros social media page is erring on the side of actually, giving these guys a hat tip. So I'm going to give them a hat tip. I don't know if they gave a hat tip to Cooper Hummel. I don't know if they gave a hat tip to, Zach Short's still in AAA. So I guess he's still in the organization. They don't have to hat tip him yet. But can you imagine what send-off Jason Alexander's going to get? I mean, this guy's actually been nails. Last month, he's been a great pitcher. He's going to get like a total, is he going to get like a pregame thing like they did for Bregman? Here's all the great Jason Alexander moments.
Oh my God. Did you just start pulling clips from his 9 starts that he's made? Mixed in with some George Costanza moments. No, it was pretty funny to see Dubin get this goodbye that he got. He provided nothing.
Well, he was okay early in the year.
The entire time that he was here.
He was okay.
And yet somehow we are thanking him.
He was okay through his injury in May. I'll give him that. But yeah,
I guess
not. But certainly recency bias, all that. Should we be thinking Pedro Feliz? Basically, in retrospective, Ty Wigginton. Thank you for the memories. Aubrey Huff. Well, maybe not Aubrey Huff, but you get the idea.
Pudge. Hey, Pudge, appreciate what you did in your 2 months here before we trade you back to the Rangers.
But, but in all seriousness.
All right, Scott.
In all seriousness, I got to hand it to him. Positivity is better than negativity.
No, absolutely. I mean, you're not going to burn a guy on the way out the door, but it was funny to see the thanks for everything post come out of there. And I pulling the curtain back a little bit on me, one of my former interns is now the social media manager for the Texas Rangers. So now I know literally the person who's posting some of the bullshit. And I was like, oh, come on, Kelsey. All right. I am going to tip my cap to a true gentleman of the game. We know the listeners know, Scott, you and I are golfers. And there's one guy who I think everybody in America was so happy for on Sunday, and that's Tommy Fleetwood. This man has had an unbelievable amount of heartbreak as he has tried to earn his first PGA Tour victory. He has come up short in playoffs. He's come up short in the 18th green. He's led going into Sunday and choked it all away. And yet finally, at the FedEx Cup Championship, not only does he win the Tour Championship, he wins the whole fucking thing. He literally won the whole FedEx Cup with that one PGA Tour victory. And, throughout this whole process, he's continued to say, I just got to keep putting myself in position. I can't let myself get down. I've got to keep giving myself opportunities to win. At some point, I will get the job done. And then I think before the tournament, he said, wouldn't it be hilarious if this is where it happened? Wouldn't it be funny if after all that, this is where I finally pulled it off? And then wouldn't you be damned, Scott? Tommy Fleetwood found a fucking way to pull it off. The man literally won his first ever tournament at the Tour Championship, and it was worth so many points he won the whole FedEx Cup.
Well, and obviously that's got to be a bigger financial windfall than the majors, right?
Oh yeah, that's like the best. The FedEx Cup is like 20-something million dollars, if not more.
I mean, I think obviously, and this was what I thought was so funny. You and I both, are big fans of Tin Cup, the movie, where, at the end, he's sitting there. Nobody's been 10 under at a U.S. Open, not even Nicklaus. I'll get my immortality. And it's like, you dipshit. Getting your name on the trophy is immortality. How else did Lee Jansen get a cameo in that movie? Because, what's Lee Jansen done over the last, was it 20 years, 15 years?
Hey, Lee Jansen, I think was in. No, it's Trevino. Trevino is in Happy.
Yeah,
People.
yeah. No, Lee Jansen was in Tin Cup where he was getting shanked
right.
on on the driving range when he had the case to Shanks, and it's like the only reason you're in this cameo is because you have 2 U.S. Opens, but Lee Jansen did nothing else. But that's immortality.
No, absolutely. There's many ways to have immortality, and that's the same. The same argument guys like A-Rod and them made, right? When they were trying to be baseball immortals, right? Like A-Rod would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer with or without steroids. That guy was so talented. He did such an amazing thing. You're going to leave your mark on the game. But when you start doing things to chase numbers, to put your name amongst those greats, you're tainting it, right?
Yeah. All right, Tim, what?
All right, Scotty boy.
Oh, yes. Scumbag.
It's time.
All right.
Who do you have for us this week, Scott?
I'm going to go with the National GOP, and I can't really just say National GOP because really they could be scumbags for any number of reasons, but it happened again today. We had a school shooting at a Catholic school in Minnesota. Last time I looked, we had 2 fatalities. We had 14 injuries, a couple of criticals. I don't know if those numbers have moved or not. Now, I'm just going to say we know who the shooter is, Tim. Would you like to give a guess on the profile?
Fucking loser, lonely male who never gets any action because he thinks he's too manly for women, white guy, loves Trump.
And throwing on top of that, he had inscribed on his gun, 6 million was not enough. So apparently throw anti-Semite on top of that and racist. 20-year-old white male, short in the front, long in the back, got the mullet going. And I don't know, when was the mullet in style, Tim?
I mean, really never, but I'd like late 80s, early 90s. It is coming back though. The kid, like baseball kids nowadays love the mullet because there's a fair amount of baseball players that rock mullets.
So we're going to have the cycle, and we're going to have the cycle from the GOP. It's really not the guns. It's really mental health. And so those of us who are on the left, I'm not even going to say Democrats, I'm going to say people, all of us on the left are going to say, okay, what would you like to do about mental health? Now, it's too soon. You can't politicize this. It's too soon. What we need are thoughts and prayers. It's thoughts and prayers. So we're going to get our thoughts and prayers. We're going to get the normal calls on the left for some form of gun control, some form of it. And we're not going to get it. We're not even going to get a discussion about anything else that could possibly happen. But see, here's my thing, Tim. Scotty deserves better. Sawyer deserves better. Haley deserves better. I deserve better. We're in schools every day. I mean, I don't think Scotty's in school yet, but she'll be there eventually, right? Sawyer's in school every day. Haley's in school every day. I'm in school every day. And what they're going to tell me is that, well, we'll just think about it and we'll pray about it, and hopefully that will work. Well, this happened at a Catholic school. You know what they were doing when they were getting shut up, Tim?
Probably praying.
They were praying. The kids were praying. And they got shot up. So I know this is going to be sacrilegious of me, anti-Catholic of me, but I don't think thoughts and prayers is enough. And the thing is that when you pray to God, you don't pray. God's not some holy concierge that's just going to give you what you want. You're praying for guidance. You're praying for strength. You're praying for moral clarity. And so that's going to come in the form of actually fucking do something. And I'm sorry, door control, that's not it, Ted. That's not it, Rafael Cruz. That's not going to do it. Making sure we control our doors. We had TEA coming in, making sure that all of our doors were locked. Okay, that's great. But the funny thing is that most of our building is made out of glass, Tim. Somebody could theoretically shoot their way in. It does, it's not bulletproof glass. So why are we worried about doors? Maybe the fact that we shouldn't let people get their hands on machine guns. Maybe that's it. Maybe, if you're worried about mental health, somebody who has had a mental health history probably shouldn't be getting their hands on a gun. Maybe somebody that's maybe threatened his wife or his girlfriend and has gotten arrested for domestic abuse shouldn't be getting their hands on a gun. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. And what's crazy to me, and it's kind of the same thing with our healthcare system. I don't think we can solve this problem. It's just too big of a problem. Every other fucking country in the world's figured it out. Every other industrialized country in the world has gotten rid of for-pay healthcare insurance, for-profit healthcare insurance. They've gotten rid of it. Every other industrialized country in the world has figured out what to do about their gun problem. The only countries that you see that have a per capita gun rate at the same rate as ours are in Africa, where they're not developed countries, and other, teapot dictators who don't give a shit. So what are we doing? And GOP, it's perfectly, I demand freedom for my guns. Let me lock down Washington, D.C. because a 15-year-old girl beat up Big Balls. Did you see this shit, Tim? That the whole thing about Big Balls and he got beat up? He got beat up by a 15-year-old girl. Got to lock down Washington, D.C. Got to get rid of all the homeless. Let's bring in all the tanks. Got to protect Big Balls.
And you know what's crazy, Scott, is sadly, I could see this as the one that maybe does bring in some gun regulation. Only because Trump wants to send people into all these cities, right? He wants to start sending the National Guard in to take control of these cities. What better way to do that than finally use one of these school shootings to pass gun control? Then you take everybody's guns away, then you come in and take control of the city. And it would suck because we've been calling for we've been calling for this for so long that these issues should have been already handled. And realistically, the frustrating part is, like, even if they did roll in and you had your guns, like, a majority of these Second Amendment motherfuckers who say that they'd love to deal with a tyrant when he comes to town wouldn't actually do anything. And so it doesn't even matter, right? Like, the whole point of being able to have your guns was to defend yourself against basically what's happening in the United States right now, right? Like, your ability to form a militia and take down dictators. That is why the Second Amendment exists. They are rolling into town and doing dictator shit, and the Second Amendment freedom loving motherfuckers are the ones cheering them on.
Yep. So
make it make sense. Make it make sense, Scott.
What do you got for us, Tim?
All right. Mine is maybe a little bit more comical because I knew you were going to go that way, so I want something we can all laugh about. Have you been following the Cracker Barrel logo saga?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
All right. Cracker Barrel sales have been down dating back to at least 2020 because it dropped off during the pandemic. 2024, they continue to decline. Same store sales were dropping in both restaurants and on the retail side of things. So at the end of 2024, early 2025, they started trying to, change things up. Cracker Barrel typically had this is where you go with your grandparents for breakfast kind of vibes, right? Like it was not something people my age visit very often. One of the things they do, they update the logo. And just as the right wing media loves to do, they called it being woke because apparently the barrel was filled with whips that they would use to hit slaves with. And that's why it was called the Cracker Barrel and all this other shit. And I would be eating a Cracker Barrel right now, but instead I'm at some other restaurant. Like literally, Jason Aldean and his wife posted online that they would be at Cracker Barrel, except they changed their logo. I call fucking bullshit. I seriously doubt that rich motherfucking Jason Aldean, who took you for a ride on his big green tractor, is ever walking into a fucking Cracker Barrel. All these celebrities who bitched and moaned about the Cracker Barrel thing that they would be going there, except Cracker Barrel. Nope, they changed it. You got to go now. I want to see a picture of all of you actually eating Cracker Barrel. Because if it was this fucking big a deal to you, why are the sales down so much? If all these Republicans love Cracker Barrel this much and they ate there all the time, but they just changed the logo, so I'm done eating there, then why have sales been declining since the pandemic? And like 16% of their customer base never returned after the pandemic, is what estimates say. They lost 16%, which means they probably died. Like, let's be honest. They were old people. They probably died. But younger people don't go there. So what do? They try and rebrand or check younger people. What happens? People who don't even ever go to Cracker Barrel start to go woke, go broke, motherfucker, all that shit. You now have to eat at least 2 meals a week at Cracker Barrel. They cave to your demands. They put the guy back. I'm demanding 1 dinner and 1 Sunday brunch at Cracker Barrel a week from all of these people. Because, like, funny story, that's the parent company of my dad's current position is the Cracker Barrel people. So it's just insane to me that number one, you cracked and you went back to the logo. Like you probably spent millions of dollars to have somebody tell you that this basic shape with your name in it's the way to go. They probably brought a consultant firm in, all sorts of stuff for them to just be like, what if it was just a shape with a color and your name in it? What about that, guys? And then everyone's like, yeah. And then they're like, how could that offend anybody? There's no way this could go wrong. We keep the original color scheme, but we take out the stuff people didn't like. It's younger, it's sleeker, and then boom, it offends everybody. So now all those people, I want to see all your pictures of your different meals that you're eating at Cracker Barrel.
So I want to go a couple of directions here, Tim. What I will say is I will admit that when we are traveling on the road, we do stop at a Cracker Barrel every now and then. Because it's something where we know we can get something that everybody will like, and it's fairly quick. So, but I remember as a kid going to Luby's. Have you been to Luby's, Tim?
Oh, I love Luby's.
And they were bragging about the fact that they had a plaque right there at the beginning. The average age of the person eating at Luby's is 61 years old. They had that plaque. And I'm like,
not a strong business model.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But here's my thing. And they remember a couple of years ago, they got that flack over having alternative meats, for, some people, the sausage that wasn't real sausage. And it's like, and our thing was at the time, just don't order it. Just don't, and I don't know. Have you heard about what's going on at Vanity Fair?
Yeah, where everybody's starting to quit if they put Melania on the cover.
Because, and what I find is similar here is that Vanity Fair thinks that they're going to reach conservative audience by simply putting her on the cover. And Cracker Barrel thinks, let's change the logo. We'll get the younger crowd. Because if we put in a new logo and the same menu, we can't lose. But
I mean, they redid the inside of the stores a little bit, so they look a little bit less like the Miller's Burger restaurant on Space Center in El Dorado and Clear Lake, where there's just family photos scattered all over the place. They just tried to modernize a restaurant. Like all they did was try and like make it more modern, which everybody has done. But because their original logo was an old white guy with a barrel of whips, now all of a sudden this is a fucking conservative sticking point.
Well, and the thing is like, it's like any of those. It's like Kelly's. I've never been to a Kelly's.
I like Kelly's. Kelly's is bomb for breakfast if you've never been.
Never been. Country Kitchen Buffet.
Never fucked with that place. I don't want to get diarrhea.
Golden Corral. I mean, these
made that mistake. I'll never go back.
Well, my favorite story is that Ann went with my mother and my father, and she must have been like 2 years old at the time, and she saw a roach on the wall, and she started trying to beat it with her plate, and my mother's like, no. Do
you remember Ryan's Steakhouse on Bay Area Boulevard?
Oh yeah. So
when we first moved to Clear Lake, I was in 7th grade. And the guy who's the GM at Ryan's, my dad was the proprietor at Carrabba's at the time. Like they did a trade where my dad gave him some gift cards to Carrabba's. He gave my dad some gift cards to Ryan's. And we went over there for dinner. We all looked at each other like, this is fucking awful. And so then the guy comes over to talk to my dad. Hey, appreciate you coming over. Give us a shot. My dad goes to pay with the gift cards. And the guy goes, no. This one's on me. You save those and come back another time. And my dad goes, no, I insist that you take this gift card. We won't be coming back here another time. It was like everything was fake. It was just terrible. It's just like Golden Corral, right? Like my ex-girlfriend loved Golden Corral and she made me take there for a date. And I was just like, I can't believe they charge $20 a person to eat this shit. Like this is insane. But people pay it.
They got a chocolate fountain too. But here's and so, but my point is Golden Corral, you have a lane. It may not be the lane you like, but I mean, we probably eat there maybe once or twice a year. Because
at Golden Corral?
No, at Cracker Barrel.
Okay, I was like, Scott, no, I won't judge you for I judge you eat twice a year at Golden Corral.
No, at Cracker Barrel, because when we drive to Baton Rouge. There's a Golden Corral right there in Beaumont that kind of, is close to the halfway point. So it's like, okay, we'll stop here, be nice and quick. But to me, not Golden Corral. Golden Corral has its own lane too. It's a dead end road. But Cracker Barrel
drives right at the trailer park.
Cracker Barrel, you have a lane. Just stay in that lane. That's all I'm saying. And to me, if you're hot and bothered, I love the fact that they call us snowflakes, and they're the ones getting bothered over a logo at Cracker Barrel. They're the ones getting bothered over who's on a Budweiser can. They're getting bothered over all this stuff, and it's like, if you don't like it, just don't buy it.
Don't go.
It's okay.
Has the logo ever have you wanted to eat at a restaurant, and then you looked up hours or whatever, hey, where's this place located? What's the closest one? And then you pull up the website. I hate that fucking logo. I won't be eating there now. No. I was craving this pasta, but now that I see the logo change, I'm out.
No, I can't say that I have.
If I want to eat somewhere, I don't give a fuck what your logo is, unless it's a swastika. I don't really care, right? There's a few things that if you change your logo to, I'd be like, okay, no, that's not happening.
That's a deal breaker.
But other than that,
maybe you like the South Park flag.
Did you ever watch Community?
Yeah.
The E pluribus anus?
Yeah, the human beings. Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, there should be no reason that a logo is determining where you eat unless it's something awful. But to literally just have a plain hexagon with the name in the middle of it, and you're just like, I can't handle this. I can't. Come on, man. You're just fucking losers. All right, Scott, we got a couple of updates here. Do you want to do kangaroos first? Then we're going to talk about our new restaurant venture.
Yeah, we do kangaroos. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Do you have the pictures, Tim?
Go ahead. You've been hard on the case. I'll let you. I don't have a picture on this one. I'm sorry.
We have.
But you've been working hard trying to figure this out.
We have word that Matt Gaetz is trafficking ruse across state lines. Now, of course, this is an accusation. We decided to have to throw in allegedly, to keep us out of getting, sued for slander. But allegedly is trafficking ruse. Now, so my question is, Tim, we need your money mainly because we need some legal advice. Because I don't know what the age of consent is for a ruse. What do you think, Tim?
Is it like dog years? Like
I
7 is like 3?
Can a rue consent to being trafficked? I don't know.
Have we been trafficking ruse this whole time?
No, I mean, we thought we got their consent. I mean, we had them sign, put a paw on a contract. So I mean, I thought that was legally binding. I don't know. We put the remember we had the signed golf. So what I'm here to tell you, folks, is that your money is going to good things. We're obviously trying to look for Atlantis. We're trying to find that that Aztec gold that's down there in the city of Atlantis. We're going to share our bounty with you, particularly our most valuable investors. You're going to get the first dividends on that. But really, also, after seeing what happened last week with Marjorie Taylor Greene allegedly kidnapping a rue and maybe having sex with it, allegedly. And now Matt Gaetz.
We're just asking questions. We're just asking the questions everybody else is afraid to ask. I'd like to point that out.
We want to raise some money really for rue awareness. We want to up the profile to make sure that these rues, have, the best existence that they possibly can. Because, some of them are good enough to work for us, Tim, but we have a very stringent screening process. And some of the rues just aren't quite smart enough to work for us. Some of them, they can't seem to adjust to the scuba equipment. Some of us are not, good for the labs. We've tried to put some in the PR department, but, that really hasn't quite worked out either. So, some of them we have to sit there and say, I'm sorry, but, we don't have a spot for you, but we don't want anything bad to happen to these ruse.
And that's Scott, that is exactly why we came up with our latest venture. We had all these ruse that were not scientists, right? When you bring them over in mass, that's what happens. We also looked around the marketplace and we realized there's a lot of white Americans who would be eating more Asian food if it wasn't prepared by Asian people because they're racist and they're afraid to be around non-white people. So that is why we're opening Teriyakis Asian food for real Americans, where these ruse who are not able to be part of the scientific exploration process, they're going to wash dishes. They're going to clean the floor. They're going to work a hibachi grill because they can handle those tasks. And these white people who are afraid of other races are not afraid of kangaroos. So we are now going to be providing a service to the racist base of Americans who don't like immigrants. They can now have their food made for them by kangaroos at Teriyakis, Asian food for real Americans.
And don't you worry, Tim. I know there's going to be some that are not going to be able to work that hibachi grill, but they would make excellent bouncers at the front. I mean, you think somebody's getting unruly. I mean, here comes a rue hopping at you. You don't want that.
I've already picked 6 of them that are going to rotate on a bouncing schedule, and they have been locked in a room with Roadhouse playing nonstop for 62 hours so far. When we hit 96, that's when I know they'll be ready to go, because then they won't be referred to as bouncers. They'll be coolers at that point. You're not a bouncer, you're a cooler.
Way to be like a Matt Foley motivational speaker. He's been down in the basement drinking coffee for the last 8 hours.
I think he's ready to go. Fuck. R.I.P. Phil Hartman and Chris Farley. But no, I think this could be a real great opportunity for the MAGA base who would like to eat more Asian food but are afraid of Asian people, and for our kangaroos that, let's be honest, they were feeling lost, Scott. And you and I are the kind of people, money never sleeps and neither do we, right? We had these extra kangaroos. We had an idea. We couldn't let it die. We couldn't let your money go into just a boring high yield savings account, right? Like, no, we're here to make investments grow. And that is why Teriyakis, real Asian food for real Americans made by kangaroos, is going to be coming to a city near you pretty soon.
I'm thinking like Omaha. You think that's a good, opening spot? I think, right in the heartland.
I think like Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, right in the heartland, right in the middle.
Maybe like Ames, Iowa.
Yeah, you get your flyover states. I mean, those people deserve some good, Asian food. And, because you think about this, you drive by all these small towns. All these small towns have a quote unquote Asian food restaurant where it's just not good. We're going to give you quality Asian food. I mean, we got those bouncers, working 96 hours of watching Roadhouse. I mean, we got Food Network on, for the other roos, and they are watching, just a endless clip of Food Network learning how to cook.
And let's be honest, Scott, when you deal with authentic food, America doesn't like that. They like the white people version. So that's what we've got coming for you. White Asian food for white people. That's Teriyakis, okay? No crazy dishes. You're getting orange chicken and fried rice. You're getting chicken teriyaki. You're getting, shrimp lo mein, all the favorites, okay?
Teriyaki
Everything
steak.
that you want, everything. Cream cheese rangoons, egg rolls, coming in hot, baby.
Wonton soup,
Wonton soup. Yeah. We're not doing like stuff that you're scared of. No, we're doing stuff you love. That's why it's Teriyakis.
So remember, if you send us money, you can put down in the memo for the check and where you want your money to go. We're listening to you. If you want it to go to the Legal Defense Fund to keep people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, from abusing our roos, we'll put it into that fund. If you're like, man, I love this restaurant idea, put it into that fund. We'll do it. I mean, we will direct your money. We're like the Red Cross, Tim. I mean, we're going to direct your money where you want it to go.
And the only difference, Scott, is we get like what, 5,000% returns.
Exactly, and we haven't
Red Cross just gets you saved a life. Woohoo!
We haven't seen a dime, Tim. I mean, we don't have we've
nothing.
We've put everything back into the business,
and then some, right? Like, Scott, you and I have triple mortgages on our homes trying to get these kangaroos into aquatic spaces. Like, we're pushing it. We believe in this thing. We have bet it all. We pushed all our chips into the center on Roo exploration. All right, Scott, that's going to do it here for us this week. We appreciate everybody who joined us on Born on the Bayou Sports, and hopefully Jordan just keeps on swinging that stick. Texans getting ready for week 1 next week. A lot to talk about. We'll be back on Born on the Bayou Sports. Have a great rest of your night.